I'm Bill Iseminger. I'm chairman of the Historic Preservation Commission here in Collinsville. And one of our projects is to restore the D.D. Collins house. He was the first village president and held some of the first meetings in this house when it was at another location. But this is one of the oldest houses in Collinsville. It's dates to about 1845. It's in a Greek revival style. So we're in the process of trying to get it back as much as possible to how it may have looked originally. And we're using, of course, some modern materials, but we're also trying to duplicate the tradition of the architecture that was here. This was the dining room toward the front of the house. It has a fireplace in it. And even though it's a historic house, we have to do some modern amenities for ADA purposes and safety purposes. And so we do have electrical outlets, but we put them into the floor. There's other things that will be done. But also in this room, the windows have been replaced. The original ones were gone. They'd been replaced probably back in the early 1900s with a single pane up and top. But we know from original windows in other parts of the house that they had this 6/6 style. So we've had these rebuilt by an artisan up in Nauvoo, Illinois. And so they're recreated with the same kind of sort of crinkled glass that would have been in them at that time as well. This would be a parlor, or what we would call a living room. It's got a little bit fancier treatment of the tops of the windows and doors, so it's more of a formal room than the other rooms are. It also has a fireplace in it. And we've been doing some repairs. We're doing some plaster work now. We try to maintain as much of the original plaster as possible, but other places where it's cracked or fallen, we're patching and replacing that. But we're trying to maintain as much of the original integrity of the house as possible. We've been acquiring a number of pieces that are from the proper period. We're looking about 1840 to 1860. So some of the chairs, the rope bed, little cabinet, dough chest, and a few other things. And we'll eventually have furnishings in the house that will be appropriate to the time period when it was first built and first being lived in. We've also got an area in the wall up here we call a peekaboo, where we're leaving exposed some of the original lath work and plaster work to show people how the walls were plastered. A good example of a sort of a mortise and tenon type construction, where the peg would be put into the hole to help hold the brace in place. And this was used in place of iron nails and things like that. So it doesn't quite fit anymore because the house has shifted some, but this is the original peg that was in the hole there.